Basically, any moisture that was on the road, it started to freeze instantly. And that's where we had the issues with those black ice concerns earlier this morning. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see that again headed into tonight, just because now that we've had cars rolling over the roads, it's warmed up things a little bit out there, at least in terms of the road surface. But less traffic means everything's going to freeze up once again later tonight. So please use caution early tomorrow morning. Thankfully, once we get kind of past today, the pattern does start to change in a bit more of a favorable direction. But winter weather advisories for Lake Geauga counties, these were extended until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we now have that lake effect snow warning in effect for Ashtabula County, and that extends up into Pennsylvania as well, where we could see additional higher snowfall totals. Through these 3 counties, it's possible that in parts you could receive another 4, possibly even 7 inches on top of what we've already seen. And a lot of that has to do with this lake effect band that's impacting the area now. May go back out over the lake briefly today, but will likely sink back down to the south. So that northeastern portion of Cuyahoga County through northern Geauga, Lake, and basically northern Ashtabula, this is where we're going to have to watch for conditions potentially to continue like this. I know we just saw this, but I think this shows you a pretty good picture of how visibility is being reduced, and certainly this is going to have an impact on road conditions over the next several hours. So if you have to drive, please make sure you're using caution as we go through the rest of the day today. We do have special weather statements in effect for parts of Lake as well as Ashtabula counties, mainly for that potential that you could see winds gusting upwards of 45 miles per hour. And you have the lake effect snow on top of it. We have seen blizzard-like conditions already across this area, and that may continue through at least the noon hours. So please make sure you are taking it slow if you have to be out on the roads today. We will walk you through more of your radar updates, plus talk about how this will.
Just Erika Paige with what is next, what is in store for the rest of this week.
Yeah, so today it's going to be probably a little rougher to be out and about just because you're still dealing with some of those slick conditions. If you're into our primary snow belt, lake effect snow still going to be a concern for you as we go through tonight. And again, we're talking additional snowfall totals possible of 4, possibly even 7 inches, just depending on how long you see some of those lake effect snow bands moving through. One of the other key pieces to this entire equation that we've been talking about all week is the fact that you have the wind, and it's been pretty gusty so far overnight headed into this morning, and it's still relatively gusty right now, helping to keep those wind chill values a little bit lower. But the good news is this part of the puzzle at least starts to improve the more we go through the day today, and especially by tonight. I think winds are going to start relaxing, and it will be a little bit more tolerable if you do have to spend any limited amount of time outside. But the problem is we're still going to have some impacts through early tomorrow morning. We're talking about that reduction in visibility. If you're under some of those lake effect snow bands, slick travel, really watching for that black ice again tomorrow morning, just because temperatures are still so cold. You're not really seeing a huge improvement in that department, and certainly some single-digit wind chills. That's going to be around as we go through the day today. But like I said, winds are going to improve. This is probably the better part of the forecast, is that yes, while we're dealing with some winds gusts right now, 30, 35 miles per hour, potentially a little higher if you are under some of those lake effect snow bands, you do see those winds relax some as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And by tomorrow, that gusty wind not going to be a huge concern for us. Yes, it'll still be cold, but you won't have the wind making it seemingly 10 times worse if you have to be out and about. Again, just to recap some of the alerts that we have in place, this is the lake effect snow warning for Ashtabula County, winter weather advisories for Lake and Geauga counties. Again, watch for slick travel, watch for some slow delays because of some of that snow that's been moving through. If you are in parts of Lake and Ashtabula County, you probably had your phone go off because of a special weather statement in effect, because at times as you're driving, say along US 20 or even I-90 State Route 2, you could see blizzard-like conditions, quickly dropping that visibility down to less than a quarter of a mile at times. On top of which, you're getting some of that quick snow accumulation. So just be mindful of that as you go through this afternoon. We do have some light snow moving through parts of Geauga County, even eastern Cuyahoga County, but really some of the heaviest of the snow centered out across our primary snow belt, again, parts of Lake, northern Ashtabula County. So as we go through the rest of the day today, we may get some breaks here and there, but I am watching that band because winds may steer that a little farther to the south as we head through the overnight hours tonight. So that's why I'm saying we're not done come with the lake effect just yet. But headed into tomorrow, big improvements on the way. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next half hour.